You know what I find interesting? Short-lived states. And I got another one for you, coming from Lima, Peru. And I'm talking about the Protectorate of Peru. Peru became independent from Spain in 1821. And from 1821 to 1822, there was a so-called Protectorate of Peru, which was basically a protectorate of Argentina. It sounds confusing, perhaps you do not know, nor care, but I do. So in this video, you're gonna learn about the short-lived Protectorate of Peru. Keep watching. Good to have you back on the channel. If you're new, I'm Stefan. I'm a Dutch history teacher and I like to cover history. Preferably I do it on location. Like right now, I'm in El Centro, the main square of Lima, the capital of Peru. If you find these videos interesting, consider subscribing and also hit that notification bell. Peru was liberated from Spain by José de San Martín and his forces and proclaimed its independence on July 28, 1821. He and Simón Bolívar were the leading figures in the South American Wars of Independence. While Spain was under the boot of Napoleon, de San Martín started his independence wars from Argentina and to Chile and from there to Peru. Meanwhile, Bolívar freed Venezuela, Colombia and Ecuador from Spanish rule. Do notice that the significance of the so-called Peruvian War of Independence is still debated, as writers Hunefeldt and Harris noted. To this day, Peruvians and non-Peruvian historians engage in heated debate over the meaning of the Wars of Independence. Did the Wars of Independence mark a radical transformation of pre-existing colonial ways? Were the wars carried on the shoulders of Peruvians and based on the Peruvian willingness to become independent? What does the participation of Indians and blacks tell us? What were the long-term effects of these wars? Once Peruvian independence had been achieved, internal unrest did not end. A more egalitarian and prosperous society was not achieved. Native peasants kept living under the boot of their landlords. The Catholic Church held on to its privileges and slavery was continued. Despite its vast landscape, Peru was demographically a small country. A census that was held in 1836 counted for 1.3 million people. So what was this Protectorate of Peru that existed in the first year after independence? It existed for a little more than a year under José de San Martín and Argentina, which was then known as the United Provinces of the Rio de la Plata. See, Peru was a stronghold of Spanish Royalists that had to be defeated. Lima was captured by the Republican Army in 1821. On July 15th, a Declaration of Independence was signed and the Declaration of Independence was proclaimed on July 28th. This happened on Lima's main square. De San Martín received the title of the Protector of Peruvian Freedom. He was then asked to help liberate Ecuador, and there he met with his colleague, Simón Bolívar. During the Conference of Guayaquil in July 1822, they discussed the fate of Peru. San Martín, he argued for a constitutional monarchy. Bolívar, he wanted to create a republic. San Martín eventually acquiesced. And with that, the Protectorate of Peru came to an end and the Republic of Peru was born. San Martín, he left Peru and eventually retired in France. And Bolívar was left to continue the fight against the royalists in the Peruvian interior. At the Real Felipe fortress in Callao, near Lima, the Spanish garrison made a last-ditch stand in 1826, and that officially ended the Peruvian War of Independence. A part of the colonial heritage of the new state began its life with a racially defined occupational structure. Most artisans were black, most farmers were native or Indian, and most traders were mestizos, mixed race, and the elites were mostly white. According to the writers Christine Hunefeldt and Bill Harris, in the first decades after independence, Peru had a struggle for stability. The main hurdles in the process of consolidating the new republic were the lack of physical internal infrastructure, deep-rooted distances and suspicions between social groups, the complete disorganization and disarray of public finances, and, last but not least, the absence of an accepted and legitimate group of leaders. As a result of this, it was hard for the new nation to achieve political, social, and economic stability. To illustrate this, between 1821 and 1840, Peru had 5 different constitutions. In the years after, 6 presidents governed the country. 2 political models were heavily debated on On one hand, the constitutional monarchy de San Martín advocated for, and on the other hand, a liberal republic, which was according to the wishes of Simón Bolívar. Both models had its supporters who were willing to fight and die for their cause, and this caused instability in the decades after Peruvian independence. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, subscribe if you have not already. If you want to learn about other short-lived states, you can click right here. And if you want to learn about this big short-lived Colombian state that was known as Gran Colombia, you can click right here. Thanks for watching and best wishes from Lima, Peru.